lady friend. Got a minute? Welcome to the Women's Spotlight, Her Light, Her Story, a space where we celebrate women leaders, entrepreneurs, and creatives who are showing up with courage, purpose, and authenticity. I'm your host, Tiffany, and in each episode, we shine the light on her story, the journey behind the titles, the challenges, and the victories. So today I'm excited to introduce you to Caitlynn Traylor. She is the banquet catering sales manager of Copeland's of New Orleans in Shreveport and now in Baton Rouge. So
Yes.
she's doing she's going back and forth between two great cities in our state. In our conversation, we're going to learn about Caitlynn's story and how she shines light on her life's purpose. So grab your coffee or your favorite drink, settle in, and let's step into the spotlight together with Miss Caitlynn Traylor. So, how are you today, Caitlynn?
I'm good. It was a busy, productive day. I'm happy to be ending it on this note. Super excited. What
Okay.
about you? Did you have a good day?
I did. I had a busy day, but school has started back with me, so I get a chance to teach aspiring teachers.
Oh, I
So I
love
did
that.
that, started that last yesterday. So I'm back rocking and rolling too. So yes,
Beautiful, beautiful.
thank you. And so we are so glad that you're able to stop by and talk with us a little bit today, taking some time out your busy schedule. So the very first thing we're going to talk about is pretty much asking you if you'd like to share anything about yourself. As we move into our questions, I'll just kind of open that space up and let you share anything you like, and then we move into our questions.
Well, obviously, I'm Caitlynn Traylor. Like Tiffany said, I'm the banquet catering sales manager for Copeland's of New Orleans, two locations. I grew up in South Louisiana, so New Orleans and Louisiana in general is my heart. It's my roots. So I value working for a company that can say the same. I like anything outdoors, animals, horseback riding is a big passion of mine. I feel like working with those large animals and, using a lot of brute strength and having to work those long hours is kind of what shaped me into what I am a little bit today.
Okay.
But other than that, I have a husband and one son who is almost 14. So I do have my plate full. But
Okay.
yes, I love to spread love, spread positivity. I feel like at my core, I'm a healer, protector, and I want to give that to other women and help them reach their full potential. So absolutely, I'm honored to be a guest.
Well, I do thank you for that, Caitlin. I got a chance to meet Caitlin through an event, and we got a chance to partner together. But she's great, and so I was so excited when she agreed to be able to come on to the spotlight for today. So one of the first questions I'm going to ask you is, if someone meets you for the first time, how would you introduce the real Caitlin?
Ah, well, outside of work, because you just got that spiel,
Um,
right? Outside of work, I'm Caitlin. I love the outdoors. I'm really big on family. I don't go out much. That's like a rare treat for me. I'm kind of a homebody.
mhm.
Really into zodiac, astrology, crystals. I'm that lady. So
Okay.
that's typically where I meet most of my people. I might find people at Peace of Mind Center. Occasionally, I run into people at the bar. I do now. When I go out, I do bring the party. I can tell you that. I love to dance. I don't need a
Okay.
drop of alcohol to dance. Okay,
Okay.
so anybody that will go dance with me, love it.
Okay. Well, thank you for that. And it's so fun to hear you say that because when I got a chance to partner with Caitlin back in October, it was a Halloween paint party that we partnered with, but she was so cute and she had the cutest outfits. I have those pictures on our Facebook, but
Yes.
she was dressed as a cute witch, but she was so cute in her costume. So, yes, a very light, very personable, very nice person. So again, we value the fact that you're there. And then the thing I want to say too is when I was there that night, the people who worked with you uh,
Mhm.
only had great things to say about you. So that tells
I'm
me
so
how you come
happy.
across.
Yes, I take care of my people. I treat them well. I
Oh
think
yeah,
that's important.
yes. Okay, so every woman leads in her own way. So what's the heartbeat behind how you show up as a leader, whether that's in your home as a mom and a wife, or at your workplace, or even in your community?
I think ultimately all of those places I do lead, and all of them I lead with my heart. I'm an
Mhm.
empath. I have empathy. That's how I form rapport with people. I want to get down to your sub level. And I have had some pushback in that in my management career that people think it's inappropriate or I'm too friendly with people. But I can say that my people go to bat for me and they do such a good job and they brag on me because they know I truly do care.
Mhm.
And I don't think it's being too friendly or anything to care about somebody and to care about how their kid's feeling, or if
Mhm.
they got married or just had an anniversary. Those are things I want to know. Those are things I want to celebrate. I'm the manager that's buying cakes and birthday cards and flowers and doing, a surprise video at work when it's their birthday.
Oh,
So
sweet.
I am very structured,
Mhm.
but I lead with a soft hand for sure.
Mhm.
And I think that forming that trust and forming that rapport with not only my employees, but the community, and my family as well. I also communicate very effectively. I think that's a big thing for me.
Mhm.
So that would be my personal style as far as management and how I lead. And I'd say I lead pretty much the same across my business, my community, and my family.
So it's so sweet to say too that you lead with your heart. We do need more of the emotional intelligence, and that's so glad to because I believe that's where it starts. Like you said,
Yes.
you really can't have people that trust you or may do the work if they don't feel like you don't care. So I'm so
Right.
glad that you brought that up. So we know that every part of our lives has something that can sometimes be challenging. I mean, it's just part of life. Like people say, life be lifing.
Right.
So, what inspires you to keep showing up even when the days may be hard?
Obviously, as a mom, that's our first, like, my child, that
Hmm.
is our first instinct. But beyond wanting to provide just the world to my son, and I'm going to be honest, I had a great childhood and I have great parents and they're still happily married. And people always say, I want to give my kid a better life than I had. Well, that's a tall order for me to fill because my parents have given me a beautiful life. But
Hmm.
I am still striving to give him everything and more.
Hmm.
But I have always felt like a calling, like a deeper purpose to help our community. Women and children especially speak to me. No offense to the men, I'm always down to help them out as well.
Hmm.
But just something about women and wanting to empower them and help them see that light. Everybody has a light inside of them, and some people's are dimmed, or some people have self-confidence issues. Um, like I said, maybe due to my parents and my upbringing, I've never struggled with confidence. I am a very confident person. It served me well. And
Hmm.
my biggest thing is, they say fake it till you make it, but truly,
Hmm.
truly, when you walk into a room, even if you're not confident, just tell yourself you are. Trick your brain, talk to yourself in nice ways, tell yourself positive things about yourself. And then it starts to become habit, and that makes all the difference in the world.
Yes,
And
yes, it
and people are
does.
always watching.
Yes, they are. And if you don't mind me saying, your mom is, I did have a chance to meet her that night, and she was very nice, a very beautiful lady. So I can see where you get that spirit
She is
from.
a little ray of sunshine. She
Yes,
is.
she is. Yes. Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that. It's beautiful the way you put it. So I would like to kind of lean into another area because, as you stated, even though we want to help anybody, no matter what gender they are, I feel you when you state that you have a special place for women and children. So, in order for us to make sure that we are taking care of ourselves in order to take care of those other people,
Very
self
important.
care, right?
Yes.
Self care can look very different for each of us as women. So, how do you create a space for when everything around you may feel a little heavy?
So my biggest thing is baths. I love me a bath. I love a bubble bath, bath bomb, Epsom salts, whatever it is. I turn the lights off. I light my Bath and Body Works candle. I have some books that sometimes I read, sometimes I just sit in there. It just depends on
Mhm.
my mood, but baths always make me feel better. Another thing is journaling. I know that's cliche. I know people hear it all the time, but if you really sit down and just let your mind, just think about your day. Let's get our frustrations out, put it on paper. You can either leave it in there. Sometimes I like to rip it out and burn it.
Oh,
Do
that's
like a little
beautiful.
release.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's really important to get your emotions out there, but not in a negative way. Your emotions don't have to be bad. You can
Mm-hmm.
you can be sad, you can be angry, you can be upset, and you
Mm-hmm.
can still feel those things and process them and then move as long as you're moving forward. Don't
Mm-hmm.
sit in the darkness with it, but
Mm-hmm.
go ahead and recognize it, be your authentic self, feel it out however you need to, and then go on about your business.
Oh, wow. Well, thank you for that. And my next question kind of leans into that as well, because I was going to state that sometimes, of course, when we get out of alignment for whatever thing that may have happened in our lives, how do you get back on balance? So, hearing you say you like baths and that you like to journal, is there anything else that kind of helps you balance that?
I do also like to work out. I personally have like a little mini home gym, so I work out completely alone. I don't let my husband or son join me. Um, not only does it help with like not having to worry about being judged or sharing equipment or anything, but it's just really nice to be able to let the thoughts melt away. It's just you up there. It's just me and my workout. It's pretty much the only time I can really turn my brain off. Um,
Mm-hmm.
but also on the journaling aspect, sometimes it is nice. I just have to sit there because sometimes I'll be upset and I couldn't really tell you why. Sometimes by all means, I should have had a great day, but I've just been a little, moody all day.
Mm-hmm.
So sometimes it is, and I use apps for that too, that kind of the ones that, you start with a mood or a feeling and it goes deeper and it goes deeper, just to kind of help you pinpoint what could be bothering you. Sometimes it's in the back of our mind. Sometimes we've shoved it back there because we don't want to talk about it. We don't want to address it. But eventually it does have to be addressed. And like I said, it's important to feel those feelings and move past them. So the journaling definitely helps me kind of zone out, sit with myself a little bit, a little meditation, and really let my, soul talk to me. Like, what is going on? Why do I feel this way?
Mm-hmm. Well, thank you for that. And so my next question is going to talk a little bit about resilience because we know that we have to be resilient as people, but especially as women because we have so many things that we are responsible for, roles that we have. So is there a comeback moment that you can think about in your life story that now you're grateful for having gone through?
Yeah. Okay. Well, aside from Hurricane Katrina, which I lived through at 12 years old, and my whole family moved from Ponchatoula, which is a little town outside New Orleans. We
Mm-hmm.
moved to Shreveport in '06. So that was obviously a huge life altering experience, traumatizing for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I don't regret that. I regret that it happened, but I don't regret that it displaced us up here because it's been one of the best moves my family could have made. I think we're all better off for it.
Okay.
Um, but my husband and I did separate when my son was about 4 years old. We got together young. We actually got pregnant on accident. And as adults, each other was all we ever knew.
Mm-hmm.
So I wanted us both to have the opportunity to live separately as adults. We co-parented really well, thankfully. We did both see other people, and ultimately that led us back to each other. But I was super proud of myself because I pulled myself up by my bootstrings and I got my own house.
Mm-hmm.
I bought my own house at the age of 26, and
Wow.
I was a single mom for a couple years. And it only
Mm-hmm.
took a couple before my husband was like, "Hey, I think we should talk." He's like, "I know you've seen other people. I've seen other people. I know you bought a
Mm-hmm.
house. I'm really sorry. Do you think you can sell it? I want you to come back home."
Oh, wonderful.
So ultimately, we reconciled, we got
Mhm.
back together, and we live in the same house that we originally bought together. Um, but that's made our relationship so much stronger because I'm glad we did separate and that I did do life on my own for a little bit.
Mhm.
Um, because you just don't want those what ifs, you
Right.
know?
Right. Well, thank you for sharing that story. And it's really interesting that you even went through Hurricane Katrina. I had no idea that that's how you all got here. So, yes. And I know you all had, like you said, you had to pretty much be resilient. You all had to start over. I'm certain
Yeah.
your parents had to. Well, thank you for sharing that part of your personal journey with us. Again, it may be a lady that's in the audience that one day may need to hear that she might be going through something similar and know that, it's okay if y'all decide, if it's the fact that y'all decide to get back together and it works out, that's what we need to do. But we don't want to just close doors on things that happen in life because we never know where it could take us. So I'm so
Right.
glad that
Don't
you
be
shared.
scared to start over, start with nothing and build from the ground up because you can do it. It's
Hmm.
scary, it's hard. I'm not going to say it's easy.
Hmm.
But you can do it.
Hmm.
Anybody can.
Right. Well, if you don't mind me asking, since you said that at that time when Hurricane Katrina happened, I was working in the school system, so it shows I'm quite a bit older than you. And but I remember that we had a lot of young people that came up and needed to be placed in school. So where did you go to school when you came up here, if you don't mind me
So
asking?
when I left, I was in St. Joseph's, which my parents thought was going to be just excellent for me, but I really didn't like it because I started out in public school. Then around middle school, they made me go to St. Joseph's. If you don't
Mm-hmm.
start out at a private school, especially a religious private school, if you don't start with them, you're kind of an
Mm-hmm.
outcast no matter what you do.
Okay.
So when I got up here, they're like, "Do you want to go to the St. Joseph's up here?" I was like, "I really don't. I want to go to
Mhm.
a public school." So my dad was like, "Okay, well, I've looked around and, Uri Drive." I was like, "Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Any public school will do." So
Mm-hmm.
I can't really speak to Uri these days, but I had a great
Mm-hmm.
time. I only went for a few months, but I did make a good bit of friends. And then
Okay.
I went to Captain Shreve for my high school years. And
Okay.
again, can't speak to it now, but back when I went from 2006 to 2010, it was an excellent school. I graduated top of the
Mhm.
nation,
Oh,
National Honor
wonderful.
Society.
Mm-hmm.
They did very well for me.
Okay. Well, thank you for sharing that too. Like I said, I just, kind of wanted to know because I worked in this parish, so just kind of wanted to know what school journey you were on. So thanks for sharing that. So as we are thinking about, because you've kind of talked quite a bit about this, we just haven't said mindset, but that's pretty much what you're talking about how
Mhm.
you mentioned not to be negative. So we know that on the other end, we want to be positive. So, what mindsets or routines, which you've kind of talked a little bit about your routines, keep you centered as you pour into others? Because we know as the job that you have, you are responsible for a team of people. So, how do you help pour into them when they may be having a hard day?
Well, I'm not gonna lie, that's one of my things that I have to work on every single day. It's not something that just happens for me. I'd say I'm a realist. Some people would say I'm a pessimist. So I've had to work and retrain my brain a lot the past few years to really become that optimist and to speak to myself in a positive way. But I never
Mhm.
really had issues speaking to others in a positive way.
Mhm.
However, I am an empath, so I do feel those funky vibes when somebody's having a rough day, even if they're not meaning to take it out on me, I can feel it.
Mhm.
So I'll usually see if they're open to discussing it at all. If they, do you want to vent? Do you want advice? Do you want me to just listen to you? That's fine. I don't have to give you advice. I love to give advice. I love when people come with me. I love when people come to me with their problems. I'm like, yes, let me help you. Um, but no, I think just catching yourself too. It's okay to have a slip or to catch your mind thinking in that negative pattern, but as long as you
Mhm.
catch it, that's how you start to retrain your brain. And I
Mhm.
tell my people the same thing, like, hey, I know that guest may have upset you or this order didn't go perfectly. But don't let that ruin the rest of your day. Don't carry it with you. Deep breath, exhale it, let it go. We're moving on. We're
Mhm.
moving on.
Okay. And before we wrap up, I want to ask you about, you mentioned about, and it's funny that you said the light being dim because that's kind of the wording I usually use. So I know that we align a lot of the things that you're saying. I can see that in myself, or I feel exactly some of the things that you talked about. So I'm really glad to know that we align in those ways as well. But what would you say to a woman who's forgotten how bright she really is?
I think that she should treat herself how she would treat her best friend or sister or mom. You know, even the littlest stuff. Celebrate your small wins. Did you
Hmm.
have a good hair day? Do you like that outfit on yourself? Did somebody comment and say, maybe you wear something that you're uncomfortable wearing? And I would encourage everybody to compliment a stranger. I know I always go out of my way to try to at least one person every day. I
Hmm.
really like that bag. That shirt looks great on you. That's a good color for you. But start
Hmm.
talking to yourself that way as well, and
Hmm.
that's how you will retrain your brain. But you just start small. I know it's hard, and like I said earlier, fake it till you make it. Like
Hmm.
walk into every room like you belong,
Hmm.
because you do, and you can.
Yes.
But people need to, women especially, we get pulled in a lot of different directions. We get a lot of misleading information about what society, is acceptable, but forget all of that, honestly. Just do what makes you happy. You
Hmm.
don't have to wear any certain thing. You can wear whatever you want. You can do your hair however you want. You can do your makeup however you want. And you will find a career and friends that are going to appreciate you for your original self. I think if everybody would just be more authentic to themselves,
Hmm.
they'll find their group.
Yeah.
And everybody isn't for everybody. That's okay. But we
Hmm.
can still be kind to them.
That's right.
And
That's
so
right.
if you just start by being kind to yourself and speaking to yourself, like your hype, everybody has their hype man, their best friend. You're telling, oh, girl, you look good today. You're going to have a great day. I'm so proud of you. I can't believe you did that. I'm so proud of you. Okay, well,
Mm-hmm.
tell yourself that, honey. I
Mm-hmm.
promise it'll make a world of difference. If you really start looking at yourself in the mirror and telling yourself that you are beautiful, you're enough, you're proud of your accomplishments,
Mm-hmm.
it builds. It's
Yes.
a habit you have to stick with, but it builds.
Yes, it does. Well, my last question for you is thinking back, and you've, like I said, you've made some great points, so a lot of this you've probably already highlighted. But if you had to whisper back to that 26-year-old Caitlin, the younger self, what would you tell her? What would you whisper to her today?
Never second guess yourself. That gut instinct, it means something.
Mm.
I recently learned an exercise where you let your body respond. And so basically, you kind of clear your mind and you just sit with your chest open and you think about either a question or an opportunity. Like, let's say it's a new job opportunity and you're hemming and hawing, you're not really sure what you want to do. If you think about it and you kind of shrink and you feel it in your stomach, it's probably a no. And you can rationalize it or think however you want, and you're trying to talk yourself out of the no, but it's a no. But
Mm-hmm.
if you feel your shoulders open, your heart opens, and you feel, happy about it, it's a yes. Just go with your first gut instinct. Do you want that new car? Obviously, I won't say forget about the prize. Like, let's be responsible.
Right.
But, so many people are judging things on other people's opinions.
Mm-hmm.
So nobody else's opinion really matters except for your own, and you already know what you want to do. You just need to listen to your intuition about it. Because there
Mm-hmm.
were so many times I know now that I have great gut intuition. I'm a great judge of character. I know that now. As
Mm-hmm.
a younger Caitlin, I loved to hear myself and then say, "Meh, I'll do it anyways." Even though I literally just told myself, "No, I don't think that's a good idea." I would do it anyways, and guess what? It bit me in the butt every time. Or
Mm-hmm.
vice versa. I would talk myself out of doing something because I was scared or I was intimidated. But really, at the root of me, I wanted to do it.
Right.
And I missed some opportunities due to that. So,
Right.
just
Like you
follow
said,
your instincts. Truly.
well, thank you for that because I wanted to say too that I think that's what we're learning as this life experience and journey as we go on. I was telling my daughter that the other day. I said, I'm 54. I said, and I thought at 54 I would just have it all together, all of it. I would just be sitting back now where I'm thinking, oh, it's all together. And I'm talking about to my younger self. That's what I'm thinking by the time I hit my
Mhm.
50s. And I believe this for me has been the last few years has been a very challenging season because I've done a lot of changing and moving into another direction. So it's so important, like you stated, to listen to yourself, to be authentic with yourself. Like I said, you've made some very good points. So
Thank
I
you.
do want to allow you to share, if you'd like, how people can get in contact with you. I want to say that I have had the privilege of ordering from Copeland's quite a bit this past year since I met Caitlin, and everything has been delicious. My family said, "Okay, can you get that for us for for this or event or that?" So, would you like to share how the audience can get in contact with you if they'd like to?
Yeah, absolutely. So,
Okay.
if it's not work related, I'm mostly on Facebook, Caitlynn Traylor. I'm sure Miss Tiffany will spell my name out for you. Um,
Yes.
and then if it is work related, you can just text me or call me. My number is 318-518-8363. If you're more comfortable with email, it's ctrailer@alcopeland.com.
Okay.
I handle all the catering orders from, like Miss Tiffany said, a family meal with some fried chicken and mac and cheese.
Yes.
I'll put that in for
Delish.
you. All the way up to we've fed Amazon the past couple of years, upwards of 3,000 people. So truly, there is nothing too big or too small for me to handle, and I pay the same amount of care and attention and detail to every single one of my orders. I appreciate every single one of my orders, every single one of my referrals.
Mhm.
So I'm just so thankful and so blessed that our paths crossed and that I was able to come on here and share some knowledge. And if anybody feels like I touched on something that hit home for them or they want to discuss something further, please reach out and I'm always happy to chat.
Oh, sweet. Well, I will make sure that I put all of your information in the description so they can make sure they can find you as well. So I want to tell you, thank you so much for joining us on the Women's Spotlight, Her Light, Her Story today. And to my audience and to Caitlin, I hope that you all love the conversation and that Caitlin's points have inspired you to keep shining your light and walking confidently in your own story. And so, if you love this episode, please be sure to subscribe, share it with a friend, and join me next time as we continue to celebrate the incredible journeys of women like you. So until then, keep showing up, keep growing, and keep shining. And see you next time, my lady friend. Thank you again, Caitlin.
Thank you.